How great would that have been? It just didn't. It just the fucking thing just kept spinning, and we didn't go live, and it was just like, well, all right, well, try again next week. So I got done work, got off the phone, you know, got a chance. My mother-in-law was here for most of the afternoon. They went out, did their thing. They had a great time, and it was like 6 o'clock, 6:15. I'm like, Eliza, her daughter really hasn't slept
Uh-huh.
and hasn't been napping today. So let's just throw in the car. Maybe we'll go to Marshall's, return something we got to do. Maybe we'll do something. And she started sleeping in the car. I'm like, perfect. You're gonna be a car
Absolutely.
sleeper. So I drove just aimlessly for 20 minutes. Started like going somewhere else. I look back, eyes wide open. I'm like, you little bitch. I'm like, just stay asleep for an hour. So we just drove around for an hour aimlessly, getting probably like 2 20-minute naps from her, which was fine. Oh.
My
Anyway,
kids, my kids were car sleepers instantly.
really,
Yeah,
it's funny.
especially my daughter for sure. My son wasn't as much, but my daughter out cold.
Well, it's funny. I ran into the grocery store and I left Amanda and my daughter in the truck,
Uh-huh.
and I go in. I only had to get a couple things. And I get a text 3 minutes into being in the store, and she goes, "Well, of course the car stopped moving. So guess who woke up and is now fucking screaming bloody murder at me?" So it's always fun. But what's going
Yeah.
on, man? I had a fantasy football draft this weekend. Are you into fantasy football? Probably not.
No, I don't like doing fantasy sports. I don't have the fucking time and attention span to pay attention. And
You
I get pissed. I used to do it. We'd do it for fun. I'd win the fucking league. We'd start doing it for money. I'd come in dead last.
It's
Uh,
how it always works out, right?
yeah. I don't pay attention. Like obviously I love sports, but
Yeah.
with the kids, I barely get to watch football on Sundays. I don't watch like my brother and all my buddies are in a really, really high stake baseball fantasy baseball league.
Oh no,
I
I'm
can't
out.
get in it. Too much money.
That's
It's
too
too
much.
Yeah. Even their fantasy football league, I think it's $250 a guy. I can't do it. I don't pay attention enough.
See, football's doable, right? Because I mean, it used to be one day, and then one game on a Monday a week.
Yeah.
But still, like, it's not that big, right? But like
Right.
fantasy baseball, basketball, any of those where it's like you're playing more than just 17 games a year, get the fuck out of here. Like fantasy baseball, I got to either predict my entire lineup for the week or I have to change it
Right.
daily. Fuck
I
that.
think a lot of leagues. I know the league my brother's in. They do. I'm pretty sure it's weekly.
Yeah.
Your lineup is set for the week. That's your lineup.
Yeah, I'm just, no
Yeah.
thanks. So I used to not be big into the NFL.
Yeah.
Didn't watch a lot. Like when I was in hockey and
Yeah.
scouting. And then finally I got into Amanda's family's fantasy football league. And um, I tell you what, it got me back into it because then I
Yeah.
just started watching games. Like I don't really care about watching a team with most sports. I don't care about watching a team. I like watching the players and games. And it got me right back in because I'd be on the road on Sundays and boom, we'd be good to go. Are you good to go or do you need to go?
No, I'm good.
All right.
My son's mad because his tablet's not working. Well, fucking technology.
My tablet, my iPad hasn't worked for 4 years. I get
Our
like 20
internet.
minutes.
I don't know what it is, man. Our internet lately has been trash. Like
Tell ya, it's Coco.
I don't know, man. I keep calling, like I keep rebooting the router. I keep like checking everything. It's not working. I'm gonna if it's this bad for another week, I'm gonna have to call AT&T again to get them out here.
That's the
Like
problem.
we can't. Sometimes I can't even watch Netflix in my room because it doesn't work.
We got to get you some extenders. We got to get you a
I have
little
one.
Nest, all that. Oh Jesus, yeah, you're
Yeah,
getting
we
fucking
got.
hosed.
So the router's in the computer room where I am. The extender's in the kitchen. Our
Hmm.
bedroom's across from the kitchen. It doesn't. Sometimes I can't watch fucking Netflix.
Jesus,
Yeah,
Netflix. You're not missing much. I feel like Netflix has gone downhill, but
I know, but dude, Outer Banks is coming again in a couple of months. I got to binge watch it again.
I need to check that out. I haven't watched that. That's filmed right near my parents' house. One of the portions. So, well, let's
Yeah,
get her going. It's a little after 8. We don't want to be here all fucking night. or for the next 20 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bring It. We're back again for a week. TBD for what next week looks like. Who knows? Maybe, we see a fucking squirrel walk by and it's like, yeah, let's go check that out. Anyway, I think Dancing D may show up. Coco, it's the year of the Coco. He's doing whatever the fuck he wants. Mikey Snides, mailman, what's fucking going on? What's happening, baby?
Not much. Just early day for me out of work. I was out at I think 6:30. I got home.
You were pulling some hours. Like last week, I think going into last Tuesday, you had 85.
Last week. No, the week before I did 85. Last week I did like 65.
Jesus.
Yeah, they sent me home last Monday. Said you got Tuesday off. They called me at 2:00 on Monday and said, "Hey, we'll pay you overtime for yesterday for your 4 hours you came in. Can you come in tomorrow?" So of course I go in.
Sure,
I basically worked 17 days in a row, and I had Sunday off. They texted me and said, "Oh, you come in," and like 2 hours later, like 8:15, he's like, "Stay home today." I'm like, "Thank God."
Yeah, get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Jesus. Well, we had a busy week in the Northeast up here. We got the regionals kicking off. You were bringing up a good point. We're going to start off in the E's. You brought up a good point. Congratulations to the gentleman from New York, Sway Athletics, Plain Edge Auto NM. Congrats to those boys for winning the E tournament 44 team regional. Nice to see a team that is new to right. They're new to the scene. Snaps.
Yeah.
Oh
no. They're the congratulations to the D team on winning E Nationals. That came in second place at E National last year with 50 something teams.
It's this is something I like that Pucko has brought up many times. Like he says, if you win your states, but you don't play in regionals or worlds, you get bumped. Now, if regionals is your last tournament, you finish in that top 10%. If there, X amount of teams, and you don't go to worlds, you get bumped. That's always the thing. If you don't go to the next tournament, and because obviously you go to worlds, you finish in that top 10%, you're getting bumped regardless. Yeah. I love that idea. I don't, I get it. Finishing second, I'm surprised. I'd have to look back at the rankings real quick, which I can do. But
yeah, but like we were talking before, 40 teams is a world tournament for some classifications.
Isn't Texas Worlds that?
Yeah, it might be less than that. Vegas Worlds for D last year, I think, was less than that.
Vegas D for Worlds was less than that.
Right?
I think you're right. I think it was right around that ballpark. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a world tournament, and they don't bump the top 10%.
And they got bumped
of the lowest division. Of the lowest division that you're supposed to build your program.
So here, I've pulled it up real quick. I've got the 2023 Northeast season power rankings, and Sway Athletics. They're not on here.
Maybe they're a different team name. I swear to God, I saw the post where the guy said, "We didn't do it last year. We lost, but we did it the easy way this year, 6-0 or 5-0 or some shit." There's no way I'm dreaming about this, but
it's regardless. It was more of the talking point of bringing up the regionals, which I like. Yeah, last year, OTR Sway.
Yeah,
looks like what's their name?
Same team, same guys. Fucking
Sway Athletics. Yeah. So I mean, like, hey, listen, good for them. And it's awesome that they win it. That's 44 teams is a hell of a team to win. Now you're
not taking anything from them, but they shouldn't have been there.
They get bumped to D's, which we've seen a lot of success of Sway Athletics last year. So here's the thing. They made a run at regionals last year. Fat Man Minganville beat them in the championship. Sway Athletics last year, power rating was 1019. So you're not getting bumped just off that.
No.
They went in class 38-31-1, overall 44-31-1. I tell you what, like, that's not a team that should have been bumped last year outside of if there was this stipulation. Right. I don't hate the final two teams getting bumped, but
I thought that's how it used to be in a tournament that big.
But here's the thing now too, right? Like you look at the Fat Man Mingyville team that won it last year. They've struggled in D.
Yeah, but that's Tony and them now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tony, half the guys in their team are 40 and over, 50 and
It's
over, 60 and over.
it's like
You know what I
45
mean?
and over and 23 and under.
Yeah, that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference. Those guys are at the tail end of their career. They're doing what you're supposed to do. Get the younger kids to play.
Which I love. And I got to tell you, it looks like a lot of this team, just from quickly scrolling, relatively stayed together. So, if I'm checking this out and it looks right, then it's great. Then you went out there, picked up where you left off last year. You finished off. You won the regionals. It's a great run. I mean, it's a tough tournament to win, first off, especially with late starts on,
Yeah, it was crazy.
yes.
Saturday,
Yeah, late
4 o'clock.
starts. Yeah, right. And then you have the C tournament going on too, so that's going to really mess up game
Yeah,
times.
there was E teams done before teams had played. It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely you have. Here we go. We had this Rocky Hill Farm E team. They played at 8 o'clock, lost their alter ego, and let's see where they ended up.
I think they played
Uh,
at noon, right?
I'm trying to find them real quick. Yeah, they must have. That would have been a real quick one. Like free agents. Here we go. They played at 6 p.m. was their second game. It looks like all the loser bracket games. The first loser bracket game was 11 a.m. So Rocky Hill beat Cultivate at 11 a.m. So Cultivate was done by noon.
Yeah, and think about this: you had teams again not show up on Sunday. You had
No,
teams forfeiting in the losers bracket. Yeah, go look at. There's a bunch of 7-0 games.
Jesus.
Like I get it, but like still, it's a 2-day tournament.
Do
You're
you
not
get it
showing
though?
up for You're not showing up for Sunday. What anything can happen.
Don't you fucking play for like this is I'm not seeing it, but it's I'm just looking quickly. Like that is just not ideal. If that's true. I mean, because what was that last tournament where teams weren't showing up and
Firecracker,
forfeiting? Firecracker. Yeah.
always.
Shouldn't be let in.
No, I'll find. I'm pretty sure I saw 3 or 4 games that were on Sunday that were 7-0 games because teams didn't show up.
Jesus. Not a good look.
No, it's an.
Um
I mean, at me as a person, if
mhm.
my team don't want to show up for the losers bracket, why are we going to Worlds?
Well, I'll tell you what. We forfeit that Sunday game. I'll see you guys next year.
Yeah,
I won't be
toast.
with you for the rest of the year.
No,
Um, I wish I could dive into it a little bit more and see if there was any real teams that were surprised by this. But looking at the O2s, nobody really in here I'm really that shocked about
yeah,
taking a
right,
look at.
right here, Brotherhood. They didn't show up
7-0.
Sunday. 7-0. There was a couple more. I don't know where the hell they were.
I gotta tell you that one of the teams here. Well, you have the New Hampshire State Champs went 2-2 STS. Got yelled at because we didn't fucking talk about them enough when we had
You
something
know,
else going on.
dude, there was games where like state champs were playing each other first round.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Griffin played them first round of the winners bracket, and Griffin won the East State in Connecticut.
Can you imagine that? I get it. It's all based off of points. Like I knew who we were playing. I've been paying pretty close attention to this weekend to who we'd be drawn up against, and you just keep watching the points, and you can figure out who you're playing first round pretty
Yeah.
easy. Um,
No, they played Chosen One Apparel,
okay,
right? Who won their East State tournament. They played them, they played each other first game.
that was game one,
And Chosen One 18-16.
and Chosen One. So Chosen One went 1-2.
Yeah, they lost their next game.
That's tough. I mean, that's tough. So you got the Mass and New Hampshire teams going off, the state tournament winners going up against each other in game one. And then, you're looking at Friendly Fire caught me by surprise going 4-2. I think they won more games this year in regionals than they did last year,
Total.
all year.
Who's the
But they
small ball
finished
team?
seventh, and then a small ball team. So this
Uh,
team, I was I was really surprised by this.
Yeah.
But then I open them up here. They're 1161. They've quietly been doing very well. They finished
Yeah.
second at the Northeast Regional. They won Maine E States, going 4-1. They finished second at New Hampshire E tournament. They won the Beast of the East. So I think if we had a show last week,
Yeah,
I think this would have been a team we would have been like, oh, this could be something here.
they're 30-11. That's really good.
That's a solid team.
They're going to get bumped. They got 20 more power ranking points to play with. They're going to get bumped.
I mean, you haven't finished second. They've only played 5 tournaments. You haven't finished below second in any of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're coming to D next year.
This SAA team from Connecticut kind of surprised me. I think they're just like a local league team. I recognize some of the guys. I recognize some of the guys in their picture. They play in the Middletown ASA league. But going
13-9 in class.
13-9, yeah.
Yeah, 1621 overall, power ranking of 1045, slightly above average. Great fucking team name. Finished 4th, going 5-2.
Yeah.
So, wow, look at that game of small ball though. 26-25.
Yeah.
They beat Park Place 27-21. Like, those are 2 scores you don't see a lot in E.
Right. What do you get? 1 home run in E?
1 home run in E, and you're putting up that many runs combined too.
Yeah. Yep. Probably set the tournament back a little bit,
huh? Better be running between fields. But it is, I miss being at the fields because I loved seeing what teams were going to be up and coming, what teams were new. But I remember talking about the small ball team back with the Beast of the East when Cooley gave that recap.
Mm-hmm.
But look at some of these average runs for. I mean, Sway 16-2, small ball 16-4, Immortal 16-4 out of Jersey. Then you had a couple over 15. Like, those are some pretty good runs for.
Yeah,
the
top 7 teams, their average runs were 15 a game.
Yeah.
That's pretty good for E teams.
Hell, I'll tell you what, there's going to be plenty of D teams this weekend that aren't going to have that as an average.
Yeah, the ball is a shitty situation right now.
Why? What's going on?
Well, the Baden Fire that we use in the firecracker is a piece of shit. It's the worst ball I've ever seen in my entire life.
Since when?
It's not the same Baden as last year.
Oh, Jesus.
So you're better off using it's a classic M. You're better off using an SY, which is a league ball. We use those in leagues.
Right.
I mean, the Baden Fire that we use in the firecracker and that you're allowed to use in states and the nationals was trash. Trash. Like, you didn't even want to use it.
That bad?
I mean, bad, really bad. This year's firecracker was the worst bat ball combo I've ever seen. I've been playing softball since 2006. It's the worst. It was the worst combo I've ever seen.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And we got to remember, we had one year we used the Easton fucking real trees, but we used stadiums that year.
Oh, so Jesus Christ!
It made the bat not as bad because the ball was so good.
Ball was a rock.
Yeah.
But what about the COVID year where getting the balls was tough? Where some of them, like the Vietnam ball versus the China ball, were completely different.
Well, the DV ball was terrible. This ball is way and that was a ZN. This is way worse.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well,
I wish Dustin or Coco were in here to be on it with me because the balls are bad.
Yeah, because they were down there this weekend with C. Hopefully, I think D is going to jump on, so hopefully we can jump in with him.
Yeah.
See,
right there, Ralph said they were using that, which is a shittier ball than the Baden Fire Classic M.
But here's the thing. I don't want to play with rocks necessarily. You have 1 home run. You don't want to play with rocks.
Well, shit. Hardest ball. That's what softball's for. Everyone should be using the Dudley Pro M Hardcore. It's made for men's softball. That's why they made that ball. Every league, every team, every division should be playing with, if it's not the hardcore, it's the Pro M. You go to Worlds, use the Pro M. I think it's maybe B and up uses the hardcore. or A and up uses a hardcore, but they use a Pro-Am. You should be using a Dudley Pro-Am every tournament, no matter where you play. That's the ball you're using at Worlds. And the directors, it shouldn't matter anymore. Every tournament's bring your own balls.
Yeah.
So you're not losing money by having to buy balls that are $72 a dozen because teams are buying the balls.
Yeah.
So if you know, beginning of the year, we're using fucking hardcores all year long. If the directors want to make a little bit of money, they buy the balls. If they don't, they don't. But the thing is, that's how the directors make a little bit more money is they change the balls every weekend. But it needs to stay consistent. The ball needs to be a Pro-Am. If it's not the hardcore, it's a Pro-Am. If you're going to use the hardcore, use the hardcore every year. It's simple.
That way you're not guessing where you're going, where you're playing.
No,
I know
no, it's not Wednesday. It's not Wednesday. You're playing Saturday and you're trying to overnight balls because you want the better of the two balls. Like that's what it has to be.
It's and that's the thing. Like I know people have said that they don't want to go to certain places and different tournaments based on bat ball combo. We talk about it every year when you guys get back from any of the ASA tournaments, talking about how that bat ball combo is perfect. It's interesting, and that ball does always come into play a lot because when you walk away from a tournament, there's two things you hear people bitching about. It's not, you can even play on a dog shit field. You don't hear people bitching about the field.
No.
You hear people bitching about the umpiring or the balls.
They made the hardcore, the Pro-Am. They made it for the 240 bats. That's the reason why they made that ball. They made the fucking Pro-Am for the 240 bats. That's why there's the Pro-Am. The 240 bats came out. During that whole time, they were engineering the Pro-Am for the 240 bats.
So with these bats, these balls being made for these bats, and the reason moving to the 240s is the safety, but we've seen higher velos than ever. But anyway,
they're better. The 240 bats are better than the 220.
Right.
God's on the truth. The technology's better.
So why not have a consistent ball across? I mean, Danny Softball here has put up a good point, and I think this is what probably people feel about, switching things mid-season. Sometimes it is just stock. No, what directors can get their hands on, what tournament directors can get their hands on.
I like a lot of directors. I'm going to keep my professional opinion to myself, but JB is a Dudley authorized dealer. He can get any ball he wants from Dudley. I don't know if he is anymore. He was, but Scott Sports in Windsor Lock, South Windsor, my buddy runs it. He's a Dudley supplier.
Gotcha. It's
a phone call. He has the biggest softball company on speed dial in Smash It Sports.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I don't think you're ever going to make everybody happy. I think at the end of the day, what everybody's trying to do, directors are trying to produce the best product. That's all we've ever heard with, when we talk with Hick, that's all he cares about is making sure the best product, the best experience is out there. And that's what I think everyone's trying to do. It's just, we're opinionated fucks here in the softball.
You know what it is too? We'll go back to what I hinted upon a couple minutes ago. The time. You put a better ball into that C National or that C Regional, what you want to call it these days. More runs, more time, longer games, more of a headache, more of having to rush guys on and off the field to get it done in one day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know the E played primarily on Sunday. I would say maybe, probably 50-50, maybe 40-60 was played Saturday versus Sunday. We did hear about how the C tournament was being run behind because it's what happens.
What time? Let's look. What was the time slots for the C? Hour and a half or hour and 10?
I've got it right here. Hour 10.
That's the problem.
Like 70 minutes isn't long enough for a D game.
It should be an hour and a half minimum.
So, and that's the thing, right? Like you go, and this is, we see this at every single tournament outside of the PIF.
Hmm.
Most places, I think Hickey sometimes will do hour 15. The Bologna might be an hour and a half. But an hour and 10 minutes. Now, let's say you're down at,
Six home runs in C, right?
no, C's 5.
5, so it's 10 home runs a game without DBOs.
So here you go. Let's go with this. This one doesn't matter. Actually, no, it doesn't matter. So the checking season athletics game started at 8:40.
Uh-huh.
They're down on field 4. The winner of that game went into field 1 at 11 o'clock. Hypothetically, let's say it's just a 10 o'clock start.
Hmm.
You know, it was a 27-5 game, so it was a run rule. Again, this is just because I saw the fields and the times. If this is a back-to-back game and you only have, you know, a 70-minute window to get from field 4, finish that game, pack up your bag, and move up to field 1 after you go through the line and everything, 70 minutes isn't even enough, even if everything goes perfectly on time.
Yeah.
And listen, on the flip side of it, that's why we're supposed to be at fields a half hour early. You get a run rule game. You better be ready to go, because if games can get back on time, get going a little bit.
Right.
Unfortunately.
But I don't think that's the problem ever. Everyone's always there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, and that's, I mean, you had this Whit Stiff, and we'll get to the C in a bit, but you had this Whit Stiff team, 27-26 game into a 30-27 game. Like, those games are going to get running behind.
Those are 2-hour games at least.
Pretty quick, right?
You know what I mean?
I mean, even in the E division, right? Like that game 1. I mean, this wasn't at the Plex, but like a 16-9 game at E's probably going to push the hour.
Yeah.
And, if you're changing fields in that, it's going to be tough. A 13-12 game, Worcester and Cultivate, same thing. Like, that's going to push the 60-minute limit. Now, if you have 10 minutes to get to where you're going, if you're moving within the Plex, can take a little bit.
But with the E's, you hope for the IEs. That's why it's an hour long. You're hoping for those, those inning enders.
And they happen, baby. Those things.
Again, if you want to speed it up, use a better ball.
Do you think anything has to do at the lower level of the player safety with the too hard of a ball, especially at the
go play
D&E
soccer
level, let's say?
Go play soccer.
Fair enough.
It's not like you're playing E teams, so it should be level playing fields.
Should be. Right? And that's where classifications. And I think they've done a good job here in the Northeast of making sure the right teams are moving up, making sure people are in the divisions they at least should be. I think that helps out. But how about this? How about the biggest, small ball?
The biggest thing, though, is you can tell the difference. You have a tournament, you use good balls, there's no complaining. No complaining.
We played an early season tournament up here, couple, when it was still pretty cold out, and with the size of the fields up here, there was some complaining.
The ball was not good enough.
No, it was too hard.
Well, hit the ball down.
Yes.
Yeah. Me personally,
swing your 300 bat, not the 240 bat.
Personally, to me, like, the harder the better. We had this argument with one of my buddies when we were playing D&E. He's like, "Oh, we're so much better when we use this like a softer ball." And then we started using the harder balls. He's like, "I'm totally wrong." Like, the harder the ball, the better. Like, that's softball. Like, you're a grown man, you should be able to.
Very rarely does anybody on a team get pissed at somebody. If it's an IE or an out, no one's getting mad for a home run for an out if it's on a line. Like, nobody gets pissed about that.
Or backside,
Yeah, like backside on a line, nobody gets pissed about that. But if you're dropping that shoulder and you got that home run derby swing, go fuck yourself. Unless there's I think it was the state tournament. We were down a couple, or we hadn't really got the offense going. I got up there and I hit a solo, and I came back to the bench. I'm saying, yes, like 100%. I saw my pitch. I was fucking jacking it because we need something. Like, way different situation.
It's not your fault the guys in front of you didn't get on base either.
I was leading off the inning. I told you it was a selfish swing. We had 3 of them. We hadn't hit any we hadn't used them all day, so I was like, fuck
Yeah.
it. But how about let's look at this bracket here a little bit. So small ball and the E's went in and they had themselves a good day, right? Like they won their first game 15-8. They walk into the New Hampshire State winner STS. They run rule them 20-10. And then they go into Worcester All-Stars 22-4
So it's only 10 runs in a national tournament as a run rule?
after 5.
It's not 12 or
No,
15?
2015 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not
I
a
think.
lot of well, maybe it seems like 10 runs is not a lot.
But after the 5th inning in E-ball, yeah. I don't know. But it's always, I think it's always been 10, at least since I've been playing, at least in the D&E, I think.
Uh-huh.
Somebody else can correct me if I want. But then small ball walked into Immortal, the team from New Jersey. They put up fucking 36 runs, 36-10. Like, that's a fucking long afternoon. 36-10. And then we walked into the winners bracket final between Sway, a little bit of
That's a lot
my
of-
beach is better than yours.
That's a lot of runs for an E team.
Jesus Christ, yeah,
Let's see what the
36-10.
record is.
And then that winners bracket final, Sway Athletics won 21-13.
Oh,
Like-
that Immortals team is good. They're 23-7.
Oh yeah, they're a top one. They'll probably
Mhm.
see the bump.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Immortal, they were doing the same thing. They had a play-in game. They won 15-2, 10-3. Well, they had a 1-run game against Free Smoke, 12-11. They beat up Wright Plumbing 23-11, and then they were rolling. I'm surprised Sway took them down like they did 21-13.
Yeah.
Friendly Flyer making a nice run in the tournament as well until they ran
Maybe
into
they were
Sway.
Maybe they were just tired, man. They probably played a bunch of 3 games in a row, maybe.
I mean, shit happens.
3:30, 5:30, 7:30. Yeah, they played back to back to back.
And you put up 36 runs going into the winners bracket final. Like,
oh yeah, dude, they played at 9:30, 12:30, 3:30, 5:30. They didn't get a break. That's crazy.
You're gonna run out of gas there pretty quick.
1, 2, yeah. They played 4 games in
starting
a row.
on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sunday at 9:30. They get one game. They're on and off, on and off. I mean, that's a typical tournament, but they also played 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock on Saturday. I mean, they played one extra game, but they made a nice run regardless. And then Sway was, they kept hitting that 16 number, 16. They've had a nice 1-run game with Friendly Fire, 19-18. But then back to 14-4, they beat your boys SAA. So they were run ruling guys into the championship where small ball showed up off of a 16-6 W in the loser bracket final. And this is one of the few tournaments we don't see an if game.
Yeah.
Been seeing that a lot. I like those if games, man.
Yeah, as long as it's not 11 o'clock at night.
If you're the team playing it and you win, you like the if game. If you lose in the losers bracket final, you're really fucking cursing yourself a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Worlds. Did you look at Worlds? It hasn't been in the recent, but in the past, that team that was winning Worlds always was the team coming out of the losers bracket. You get rolling and you play a couple of games, and that team comes in, and the king seat is just sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking. Of course, TV the balls were fine. You guys fucking won. Of course, you're gonna say that.
We're gonna get there, Snides. Let's finish up with the E's first.
Uh-huh.
So small ball drops down to the losers bracket, beats Alter Ego 13-12, beats SAA 26-25, and then Run Rules Immortal get a little payback. Nice little games though, man. That's running out of gas. Like those are some good scores into the championship game and just probably hitting the wall after a long weekend. But yeah, congratulations to Sway Athletics. No MVPs from them here listed. Immortal, Nathan Fusco Lamont, with the third place offensive tournament MVP. Defensive tournament MVP from small ball was Keith Levasseur. Congratulations to you, gentlemen. Yeah, let's go over to the C's now. I love this. So we got Folo and TB. BYB TB. So Folo saying the balls are fine.
The first and second place team are saying the balls are fine.
Balls are fine. No, they aren't the hardest or best balls, but people who are supposed to be hitting the home runs are hitting them. I think the games have been solid hitters. TB, balls are fine. Things were getting launched out of the plex. I got to tell you, this comment from Folo, I 100% agree. It's something I've been saying for a while, and I understand your part on these hard balls. My opinion is I don't like, and this is why I don't like the hardest ball out there. I don't like seeing, 5'3" soaking wets 115 getting up there dropping a 350 shot. Like, I like what Folo's saying. The people that can hit the home runs should be able to hit the home runs. Now, obviously, I'm going to say that because I'm also one of those guys that can hit them. But I think, when you see guys that hit those accidentals that you're expecting just to be on the base, it's like, what the hell's going on here? I like this statement. We talk about the older, where you never always saw guys hit these home runs. So I kind of agree with Folo. Oh, here we go. What's this? Damon Blake. I'm not sure who he plays with. Said lots of good ball played this weekend. Wish we played later in day. Sunday started off 2-0, but it is what it is. Must be from Immortal, would be my guess.
I don't know.
But in these bigger tournaments, it's all about when you start, who you play against, what the draw looks like. It sets up your entire tournament, especially at Worlds.
Oh, yeah. That's why, it really, it's important to play a lot of games and all that, but it really only comes down to one tournament at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
For everybody. It's not just one team, it's everybody.
But this type of a tournament, especially, like the E regionals, Firecracker, D regionals, like these larger tournaments really do lend itself well to Worlds.
Oh, yeah, those are huge 30, 40 team tournaments are huge tournaments to win to go into Worlds. Yeah. Because Worlds you gotta play 6, 7, 8 games sometimes to win. If you're undefeated, to win.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Think you need to win 7 to win Worlds last year. I think the Titans went 7-0.
So to go 6-0 is you're one game away from winning the Worlds if you think about it.
Right.
Going 7-0, and that's a good thing to know you can do.
And now you spread it. I think the hard part down at Worlds with these large tournaments, right, especially at the E and D level, is when you go 6-7-0 to win, or even if you're you're playing 8-9 games.
Yeah.
Yes, once you get into Saturday, Saturday, if you make it to Sunday, you're only playing a couple. But Saturday, if you're losing and you have to win 3-4 games on Saturday to get to Sunday, that's where these large tournaments help, because you're playing, if you're, you win your first game on Thursday, you play 2 on Thursday, you win, you maybe only play 2 on Friday, you're in good shape. But now you're spreading this over 3 days. Now guys start to get a little loose. Maybe somebody finds Cowboys or hangs out in the hot tub a little bit too long. Like, we've all seen that shit happen. Stay up too late because you got a 7 o'clock start, 5 o'clock start. Because if you go 2-0 on day one, you have those late starts on Friday. So
maybe you hit the buffet for lunch. You eat too many crab legs, and there's
no such thing as fucking too many crab legs. I'll tell you that much. We did get a lot more intel on the C regional, though.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you what, I've been saying it for a while. I've been riding this horse for a couple of years. I'm glad it finally paid off.
The Chiefs,
the Cheffies, JSI. Like they've been playing well this year. I think last year making the jump, was it last year they made the jump from D to C?
Mm-hmm.
They'd done well in One Nation. But now this year
they got one of my favorite guys on their team, and he was the MVP.
Who's that? Who was the
MVP?
Oh, okay.
Dude, he never had Chinese food till like last year.
What? Well,
never had Chinese food. It's hilarious. And then he had it, and now he loves it.
The guy's got like 6% body fat. Of course, he
Oh.
hasn't fucking touched Chinese food.
No.
He didn't get like fucking some steamed like chicken, did he?
He
All
went
right, good. You got him the good
full
shit.
force into it. Yeah,
You probably took him to a fucking buffet, didn't you?
I didn't do it. He did it on his own. We played an unlimited home run tournament. I'm like, I'm gonna get some Chinese food after this. He's like, I've never had Chinese food in my whole entire life. I said, what's wrong with you? And
How is that a thing?
yeah. And then he ate it and he goes, I love it. He goes, I think we get it every Friday night now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
This C tournament, kind of not what we expected per se, but man, like the teams and just what we got going on here is awesome. Like I love this C division this year. It's just it's competitive. You probably could have looked at, I don't know, looking at the grouping, you probably could have looked at 5-6 teams that you would have said, this is who I expect to be there in the end.
At least, yeah.
Reloaded being one of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially after a text I got saying, don't sleep on Reloaded. Why aren't we getting the love? You know, maybe even you could look at like a you know, I don't know. Actually, outside of that, I think everybody else was up at the top. This Wits Stiffs team, though.
Yeah, that's the Whit put a team together. It's most of the Don's Auto guys and some other guys, I think.
Yeah,
I looked at
a couple guys from the Spartans. You had KD. You had Starkey on it. Like those two guys shouldn't probably be playing D-ball right now. They should probably be up a level in C. So I saw when Bad Beat had them, I texted Coco and I was like, hey, I looked at the roster. Pretty good D team.
Yeah.
Like pretty good. Be careful. Yeah. And I tell you what, they showed up and they're a pretty good D team. They knocked off Bad Beat in a 1-run game, 27-26. Yeah. Went into Reloaded, beat Reloaded 30-27.
Which was probably an intense game because they're all buddies.
Are they?
Oh yeah. Most of those guys, they all play league against each other and all that good stuff.
And then they went into Yeti and beat Yeti 23-9. Finally kind of hit the wall against the Chefs, 22-7. But like early on, if you're not looking at that roster, like you are saying, all right, we got a D team. Because I know that's when I asked Dustin early on in the week, I said, who you guys open up against? He goes, a D team. I said, all right, who is he? He goes, I don't know. I said, all right, so you should be all right. It took a while before this Wits team was caught on.
Yeah.
Anything surprise you about this tournament, though, looking at it?
Jack King put it together a little bit.
First time all year, right?
Yeah, I don't know what they did at States, but States also got rained out. They didn't finish, so they were 3-1 at States. So they had a couple of good tournaments in a row.
Yeah, I mean they went, the Beast 0-5, Firecracker 2-2.
Well, they started off 0-3 in the Firecracker.
0-3 in pool, yeah. So this is a surprise. This is a surprise run. They beat Season Athletics 27-5. Then they beat AUIT 11-10. Like that's a big win right there for them.
I'll tell you this right now: AUIT is going to be a different team outside the complex because they have one of the best hitters in New England on their team, but he's not allowed at the complex.
Which one?
Stevie G.
Stevie
G.
Stevie G? Nothing but a G thing babies with him?
Yeah, he's one of the best hitters in New England. Playing C.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's a huge pickup for them.
Well, good thing that the Plex side of the tournament schedule's over.
Yeah, they're good as it is, and they just put one of the probably. I would put him as one of the top hitters in New England, top 5 on that team.
Jesus,
lights out. Yeah,
man, I saw it. Obviously, I haven't been around at tournaments this year. I just opened up their roster. Jesus Christ.
And I don't think Garrett was there either. He's their leadoff hitter. I think Garrett.
No, G was in.
He's in Paris, right?
Yeah, he was getting croissants and fucking.
Yeah. So he wasn't even
touring the Louvre.
You think about that.
So no G and no Stevie G. The G twins were gone. He was in Ibiza. I
Yeah.
took a pill in Ibiza. Not a
Yeah.
bad fucking little. Listen, I'd miss regionals to go to
You know
Ibiza.
what he did? He brought that broken bat from the firecracker with him as, protection, you know?
Oh Jesus! Oh, his flight got canceled in Paris. That sucks. Uh, what a nice little trip though. It's way better than hanging out in North Brantford for a weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right. I remember I saw some of his stories and saying, "Oh, this looks good."
Allegedly.
Um, he's picking up. Wow. So AIT was missing those two guys and
Mhm.
still
And
finished
Meach
second.
isn't on their team, right? Is he?
No, he's not on the. Was he on the roster?
I don't think so.
No.
I didn't know if he picked up with them because he played with them before. I wasn't sure. But I think he was good to be at the Plex because he wasn't there.
Okay. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, he wasn't there. You're right. No, he's
Yeah,
not on their roster right now. Um, this fucking roster is stacked. I cannot wait to see what AUIT does at Worlds.
me too. Even
I
though,
mean, fucking,
you
they
know,
start the year off in Texas hot. Might as well end the year in
yeah,
Florida hot.
yeah, they're good. They've been good for years. I mean, when Ant and those guys first started in E, we played them at like the ice box in South Windsor and snowing, and they put up like 20 something in the first inning. I think we put up 30 something in the first inning. It was
Jesus.
wild. Yeah.
That- yeah, these guys have been around and been
Hmm.
strong team for a while.
And last year at Worlds, they lost a 1-run game with the tying run on second base with home runs left to the team. I think that the Amish
got
team,
yes,
the
I
Hornets, they won
remember
it,
that
right?
because I
They're the
saw them.
Hornets.
I saw them in the Wawa down there,
Hmm.
and that's exactly what happened. They had home runs in the bank
Yeah,
and couldn't cash it to the Hornets.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man. They win that game. They win Worlds.
Fuck, I hope I
Yeah,
this team. This is going to be their year, right? They're going to put it all together. They won. They got the Texas win. I just want it to come back north, like see back north. C team hasn't won it from up here since what? Smoke.
yeah. Joel and them came in second. What, 2 years ago?
Yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'd like
Smoke
to
won
see
it
it.
with that B team.
No, that was their first run. So it was the C team still, wasn't it?
No, they had freaking Beach on the team. They had KJ who just played A with me the year before.
Oh, um, yeah, but and then looking down, throughout, this tournament, GTP made a nice run.
They've had a
It looks
solid
like
year. They've had a
huh?
solid year. They've had a solid year all around.
Yeah,
They
they
probably
they
had the most consistent year out of everybody in the state of Connecticut or in the Northeast.
I was gonna say probably the Northeast.
Hmm.
They won back in June. That was their last tournament win. Was the Saturday Sunday 6-pack. Finished fourth at the Beast. Finished fifth at the Cracker. Second at States. Third. So they're always there at the end.
Hmm.
Um, I'll be curious to see what they do down in Worlds as well. They're second in the state, 52nd overall power rankings, 10-23 on the year, 20-12 in class. Um, again, this is probably going to be a draw when they're down in Florida to see how they
Right.
do.
Yeah. I mean, that's all it comes to at Worlds is your draw, the field, what sandbagging team from the South you're going to play.
What A team drops down into the C's?
Yeah, like you get those random teams that have guys that shouldn't be playing at that level, and their director doesn't police it like the Northeast does.
So I got to tell you, the winners bracket semifinal, right? You had the Chefs, you had Wits, you had Checking and GTP. A lot of people would have lost some money if they put like a 3-team or kind of who's going to be in there. Because I don't think anybody would have had Checking or Wits
No,
going into that Final Four.
no,
Heading down into the losers bracket though, so Bad Beat lost to Wits in game 1. It made a nice run through the losers bracket. Beat Fours.
tight
Knocked
games
out,
too. Look at those games.
knocked out Titans, both 1-run games. Then they played AZ Roofing. They beat them in a 1-run game. Like,
Yeah,
fuck.
1-run games in a row. Say that fast a couple times.
You didn't do your warm-up exercises, did you? But you're right, 3 1-runners, so they played their first 4 games were all decided by 1 run.
And they'd have a break.
I think I played
One,
4 in a
two,
row.
three, four, 5 games in a row. 9, 9:50, 11 o'clock, 12:10, 1:20, 2:30. 5 games in a row.
Yeah, that's
How do you like that?
that is a long run through the losers bracket. I don't think it was too bad down there.
I don't. It's still hot on that turf though, so it don't matter.
It's hot, but it's not the 90-degree hot, which is
Yeah.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
Another team that made a nice little run in the losers bracket was Allstate. Allstate out of Rhode Island. Knocked off Toro, knocked off Simonelli's, and then lost to AUIT. But, you know, team that you typically aren't expecting a lot from. They've been up and down this year and seeing a nice little run out of them. Yep. But then fucking reloaded, right? Reloaded. They beat FHC 26-18 and lose to AUIT. So that was a tough weekend for them. But
yeah, they lost to AUIT and who else?
Wits.
Oh,
Wits
yeah, I mean, AUIT is good, so yeah. I'll give Reloaded that.
You know, and then you had AUIT versus Checking in the losers bracket semis. AUIT wins that, beats GTP 18-14 to take on the Chefs in the championship game, and the Chiefs, baby, 21-7.
Yeah, them Jersey, New York, Mass, whatever you want to call them, boys. They're a crew, man. You got TB leading the show over there. It's going to be a fun weekend every weekend.
They've got some characters. I was looking at the picture, the team picture. I'm like, there's some fucking characters on this team.
I think they were missing their big hefty leadoff hitter too. I don't know if I saw him in the picture.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I don't know. He kills the ball. Like, you don't expect it from him. He's a little pudgy bastard, and he don't get out, man. I swear to God, he's a little. He's their leadoff hitter. You don't like this guy is their leadoff hitter. He don't make outs.
Jesus, you gotta love that in your leadoff hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I think we have a really strong chance in the Northeast of seeing a C team be in the conversation on Sunday.
They got good, they have a good team. They got that kid with the long hair too. That kid can play anywhere. I don't know his name. He plays center field, shortstop. He's good.
Yeah, it's I wish I could have been able to see them, but you know.
Yeah, I don't know if a lot of people were streaming this weekend, or maybe I just didn't catch it because I was working, but I didn't see a lot of streams.
I don't know. I didn't open up Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't tell you. Yeah. All right, this weekend we got the Women's Northeast C Regional. Big C Regional here. Oh, Chris Phillips. Is that the long-haired guy, Nico?
Yeah, that's his name. He's good.
I like that. You like guys that can play anywhere, but the real athletes, we know where they are. Yes. So Northeast C Regional, it's a big tournament down there on Sunday at the Plex for the women. You have 5 teams. You got Good Time, Wall Stars, Venom, Big Dog Ladies, and Vaca.
Yeah. Jared, I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Cool, I got you. Right. So you have 3 C teams with Good Time, Vaca, and Wall Stars, and then you have 2 D teams with Big Dog Ladies and Venom. I'd like to see the women playing up here. Can we play this in Worcester? Go to Hubbard Field instead of heading all the way down to the Plex. It looks like that'd be a easy drive where it looks like it's a lot of, Big Dog Ladies have a home field advantage being so close to the Plex. But outside of that, let's go to Worcester. Hell, make it a home one for Venom and go to Mikey Manning and Sky DeLorge's Park in Enfield. But yeah, so good luck to the ladies there at the C Regional. We got the big one though this weekend starting on Saturday. You got the men's D Regional. So it's nice. The nice thing here is you got 2 back-to-back weekends of large tournaments. You had a 44-teamer. D this year is down from years past. If I did a quick look from last year, I want to say it was pushing 50, high 40s into the low 50s, I feel like. This year, the men's D is only down to 39. So this should be an interesting one. You're not going to be shocked to hear, but there's a handful of favorites, right? I think this is GMB, the Green Mountain Boys. A lot of people are expecting them to do very well. Young Guns out of Long Island. This would not be a team. If I saw this in a championship game, I wouldn't be shocked. Bean Shooters, interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing this team play. Haven't seen them. Been talking about them a lot over the last 2 years. Haven't had a chance to check them out. Another team, 35-11 in class, team out on the island. So, couple there. Rock, not sure about these guys. Don't know them, but they have a great record from Long Island. You know how sneaky those guys can get down there. Murderers Row. Murderers Row have kind of been, a little quiet lately. They did well. They were in the silver flight at the Firecracker. Didn't fare as well as they wanted to in the bracket play, but we'll see. We're just kind of walking through some of the favorites here in the D. Saying Green Mountain Boys, Young Guns, talking about Bean Shooters.
Are you playing? Are you going this weekend?
Yeah, we're playing. We're starting off with your favorite Connecticut D team.
Oh,
LAS.
LAS, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully they have lost a couple steps when we play them. But yeah, so this is going to be a good one. Again, but I think this is down. There's only 40. There's 39 teams. Like I feel like the last couple of years it's been 40s, pushing 50, if not in the 50s.
Yeah.
But I would say this is going to come down to Green Mountain Boys and Young Guns is kind of the two that I think I'll be curious to see what they do.
Bean Shooters.
Yeah, the Long Island team.
They back out of they backed out of the Cracker, right?
They had to back out of the Cracker, yes.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't remember it was Easter Cracker.
Don't sleep on the Whalers, man.
I know. Boys. You've been saying it lately, and they've turned up real well in the last half of the year. They've been playing well lately.
Those are my guys, man. Those are some of the guys I played league with, league against, played with. Those are my guys.
Here's the thing with it being sorted by points, which it should be, and not power ranking, which you could go for either one. To be honest with you, I wouldn't hate a power ranking regional bracket. You have Green Mountain Boys and Young Guns on the same side of the bracket,
and you're going to be behind schedule because hour and 5 minutes not going to happen.
Is that what it is?
Hour and 5, yeah.
Oh yeah, 65 minutes. Yeah, it's good. We'll be behind.
And they're testing that.
Haven't seen an email about that yet, so don't have any insight. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just took another peek in the email, not seeing it. They did test last year. They tested.
Yeah, the last couple of years, yeah.
Yeah. The year before was randomly testing. Last year was testing before the games even started, which I like,
Yeah.
Get her going. I know it's a lot of work for Paulie, but I don't hate that idea. It could be interesting. I'm curious to see what happens here. I'm disappointing. They did test for E.
They tested for the C's too.
Yeah. So they tested for E, so that we'll be testing before the tournament starts here in D. So leave the 160 bats in the truck, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, some people still try and test them.
Oh, just pull it out. If you put it in a wrapper, and pull it out right before, you're fine. I hear.
I won't bring up any names or any teams, but still my favorite was a couple years ago. We're testing for it was either D or C. Guy comes up, tests his bat, fails. Goes, test it again. I say, okay. I spin it, fails. He goes, I gotta let my supplier know. I started dying laughing. I said, you got to be kidding me, right? I'm like, come on, man. Like you didn't just say that, did you?
This isn't fucking weed out of some guy's trunk. Like, knock it off.
And I didn't expect it from this guy either.
We'll show that one off air. Here the thing is here too, like Green Mountain Boys, they get a play-in game. Rock gets a play-in game. Bean Shooters get a play-in game. So you've got some teams here with play-in games that are looking all right. This is also what happens when you play a lot, right? You do get the benefit of starting your day at 10:45, 11:30, with your first game when you have these high points.
Yeah, I mean, but you still look at some of these teams that are, LAS 940. That they got to have a lot of points. You know what I mean? That's
they do, but we don't.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. They're they're the lowest of the highest point team. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think they're 13th in points because we're 20th. They're 13th.
At least you're playing on the upper field.
I love that. That. I'm already thinking about that higher fence and how sexy that thing looks when I step on the field. Yeah, and here's Nate Medina talking about the C's this year versus last year. 100%. Any weekend, anybody could win.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, I think it's like that in the D too, right? I mean, there's a couple teams that are not D teams, and then there's
yeah,
the D teams. You know what I mean?
this one D. I feel like if Green Mountain Boys showed up, you're expecting them to win.
Yeah.
Young Guns, I don't know. Like you look down that Long Island, Young Guns. You got Young Guns, Bean Shooters, Rock. Like you got some great teams on that Long Island as well. Um, but I feel like once you get out of there, right? Like LAS was a team. If they show up in tournament, you think they're probably have a good chance of winning. Murderers Row, same. And then it kind of starts dropping off after that. Whalers at the end.
Yeah, but you got teams like look at this. Look at Spartans. Look at their
Yep,
roster compared to how they're playing this year.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like it could just take one weekend for them to figure it the fuck out and watch out.
If Spartans put it together for the weekend, this is a team that
Yeah.
absolutely can go out and win.
How about, like National Gold too? Like that's another team. I don't know. Well, just from their name.
Well, you're just going off the name. I would
Yeah.
stop it there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not been one of their better years.
Uh-huh.
But like I'm looking at, Hitman I know had some good pickups, or Jobin Painting Hitman had some good
Uh-huh.
pickups. As I keep scrolling down here, Bonfire, when they've got everybody down and going, they've been rolling. They just haven't had everybody for a lot of tournaments, like most teams.
Yeah.
But they get a big piece for this weekend in the fish. Um,
He's
once
coming again.
what's that?
He's coming.
Yeah. Well, it's not confirmed, but it's a big tournament. He's showing up for the big tournaments.
Okay.
Um, so which makes sense. But I feel like once you kind of get past there,
Hmm.
I feel like Spartans is really
Hey,
the cutoff.
this could be a tough first game for Green Mountain Boys if Wit Stiffs win.
They lost a couple of their guys though to their normal D teams too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they
Never mind.
lost Starkey and KD back to their
Okay.
normal team.
All right.
Um,
So
I kind
difference.
of yeah, like I'm looking at this sort of by power rating right now.
Uh-huh.
I would say once you get to the Spartans, that's kind of where there's a line.
So
I
did
feel like from there.
Don's auto fold,
Hmm.
and that's why it's Wit Stiffs
Yeah, so far gone. Dr. Don folded back in the May
after the. No, they played in the Cracker, didn't they?
as a different team, but I think it was
Uh,
May. A lot of the guys left.
all
I
right.
think that's when they folded up shop.
They were
So
doing good.
yeah,
Whatever.
yeah. So this will be interesting. This is always a fun tournament. There's always some fucking surprises in this tournament. Woo City, a couple years ago, finishing third, I want to say at 603 when I was playing with them. We were fourth. We shouldn't. Nobody picked us to kind of be there at the end. I feel like this is always a team or a tournament where you get into that, low tens into the nines,
So you
where
got
it's
to win.
like
You
somebody
got to
shows
win.
up.
You got to win 3 games on Saturday to make it to a little late start on Sunday.
Yeah, you win two or three on Saturday in the winners
Uh-huh.
bracket. You get a favorable start on Sunday,
Yeah.
and I think you're in the winners bracket semifinals if you win two or three.
No, because hold on. 1, 2. No, you got to win like 4 to get to the winners semis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5 games to get to the winners semis for some teams. So
Yeah,
4 or 5 games. Yeah.
so four to get to the semis, five if you have a play in.
Hmm.
So that's a lot. And then you get into Sunday is when the winter semis start at 10:10 and
Right.
10:10, which is nice. This is allegedly ending at 3:30 on Sunday. It's going to be the first pitch of the championship game.
That's
3:35.
not. That's not how you want to put over under on
Well,
6
I'm
o'clock.
thinking like 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I was saying 6.
I was going to be nice to say like 4:45 was where the line was going to be set, but if you're at
It,
6, we'll go with 5 o'clock.
so the women's is only Saturday, right? It's just the
No,
D on
women's are
Sunday.
only Sunday, but then also I believe typically there's also been the mixed D. There's no mixed C regional. It looks like
So they're trying. He's doing 3 tournaments in one weekend.
no, he's only doing Yeah.
The-
Sunday Super 6. What's that?
I don't know. Let's check it out.
Let's pull
You
that bad boy up.
You want to put a team in? Is it too late?
Sunday Super 6. It's an E tournament. 6-game guarantee. Mix got straight canceled on Sunday. That's not bad. Wow. Okay. Event info. What do we got here? Anyway, it's an E tournament. 6 teams. So that's why. So it's a Super 6. 6 teams.
Maybe it's just the Super 6 because it's 16s.
Yeah, maybe. Interesting. Anyway, all right. Well, good luck this weekend. Listen, first off, and then lastly, that women's tournament by Legacy was this weekend. Went off interesting because of the rain. Turned into one pitch. Heard some great things. Sounds like the women had an absolute fucking blast.
Yeah, they said every person wants to do it again. So
I got a message. I couldn't get down there. I had a family event, and I was told that Coco had a surprise for me. Well, he does. You know how Asia and Molly Hamill have been taking those amazing photos, and I want a calendar? Well, they made it into a T-shirt for me. Not just one. I got two. So I can wear Asia and Molly Hamill. I can support their brand of beautiful photos twice a week, 4 times if I don't wash them. I'm absolutely going to be rocking this at the Plex this weekend.
That's awesome.
It's awesome. So, all right, Snides. I hear my baby crying. She's been doing it for about 5-10 minutes, so I'm going to go help Amanda out. Have a great weekend, and everybody take your BP. Good luck this weekend, and we'll talk to you maybe this month.
Don't get hurt.
Yeah, don't.